huge significant thing, but let's go into game number 2 here. Losira, 5-1, 1-1 versus Terran.
Yeah, I think he took a lot of his wins against Protoss. I actually have the sheets here if I can just take a quick look and see exactly. Seems like he is 3-0 versus Zerg. So, in fact, he got most of his wins against Zerg. 1 against Protoss, 1 against Terran, and 1 loss against Terran. So, this guy having a lot of success in the ZVZ matchup. He's one of the fastest players we've got in the world, let alone Korea. You guys can, we say this every time this guy comes out, but he's very famous for it. You can go ahead and check out Calder's video on his APM. It's pretty insane.
It absolutely is. Now, aLive, this guy has had a tough time. In total for Pro League stats, he is 6-13. He's only played 1 game this season. For good reason. His results last season were atrocious, and he has not yet played this matchup. But StarTale-yoe is in need of a good player. Obviously, this guy has talent. He's been incredibly successful in the past. This guy is like an IPL champion, but, you know, he's having trouble right now.
Yeah. If you don't stay on top of your game, other players are going to surpass you. If they're practicing more, they're playing better, they're staying in touch with the meta and stuff. And it seems like Live has fallen out for a bit, but let's see if he can come back here. We're going to jump into game number 2. It's going to be on merry-go-round here for the ZVT. It's going to be Losira versus aLive. Up here in the top left, in the teal, the Zerg player for MVP, it is Losira.
And his opponent to the top right in pink for StarTale-yoe, it is aLive. aLive has seen a lot of teams. He was actually on Fnatic for a time. His original team and clan was actually ST-YOE. And ST-YOE is, of course, a clan that's existed for a long time in StarCraft 1 and then was one of the first clans in StarCraft 2 as well. And aLive's kind of been around. You've seen all these on EG a little while. Yeah. He's been on quite a few foreign teams, quite a few Korean teams. Now finds his home on StarTale.
Yeah, he's with one of his ST-YOE buddies. When you said ST-YOE, I just thought of Leenock ST-YOE. And Leenock coming ahead and not winning his game, but they're still on the same team here. So that's pretty cool to see. I mean, these guys have been around for so long. They're still together. Eventually, I mean, they've came back together on the same team.
Sure, you know, they've definitely practiced with each other a lot. And I saw aLive wave for a second. Yep, we're going to see a pause.
Game paused.
And
Not sure what the idea is here, what the problem seems to be.
I hope this is not a big issue. It seems to be something simple. He doesn't seem like panicked or anything like that.
Yeah, it might just be a hotkey issue, and he'll probably be issued a warning if that's the case. If it's not like a computer issue or a technical issue, usually if it's your own fault, you will get a warning because you are interrupting the game and, you know, hurting your opponent, breaks their focus.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that there should be a penalty for hotkey issues. I've always felt this way because if you're yeah, and we just got the official confirmation that, yes, it was a hotkey problem. But, you know, if your opponent is set up and ready and you're not, and you have to pause the game and interrupt his line of thought and his focus, you should absolutely be penalized for that, in my opinion.
Of course, especially during a live broadcast. You know, we're on TV here as well in Korea. Like, you are actually interrupting the live TV broadcast by doing this.
Yeah,
so.
It's like a delay of game penalty.
It is actually a delay of game penalty because it's not like the ball just popped or something. It's like you actually messed up, like your shoes untied or something.
Right. You know, if the computer is lagging, if your screen goes black, if your sound stops working and it's not your fault, that's a totally different story. But in this case, I mean,
of course, yeah.
He had an entire set to set up his hotkeys. Now, that aside, this is a stressful environment. aLive has a poor record. We all know that. So he's probably really stressed out. Made a mistake. Team's going to get a warning most likely.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Well, I hope it doesn't weigh on his shoulders. That's the one thing you have to think. Like, when that happens to you, it's very unfortunate because you're like, oh, I messed up. I effed up. Like, this is my fault, but I have to play my game. I still have to do my best. I cannot get tilted from this because it's such a minor issue in the whole scope of things, you know. It's more about winning your game rather than worrying about the small warning you're going to get.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. You win your game. Your coach is not even going to mention the warning to you, like, after you win the game, like, hey, good job. He's not going to be like, man,
I can't
good job,
believe you forgot your hotkeys again.
This drone actually may get sniped. One more shot will do it. Yep.
That's really unfortunate. That's what happens sometimes. You scout the wrong direction. You lose your drone if you're not careful.
But a very diligent scout here from Losira. He was absolutely concerned about a proxy and sent it to both locations. Very safe thing to do. Now his Overlords can get into position to further scout the base later, and he gets away with his greedy opening as a result. So I like this choice. And aLive is a type of player, if you're Losira, you're like, well, look at my record, and look at how many people I've beaten recently. aLive has a much worse record. I'm obviously the favorite player. There's a high chance he's going to try to proxy me here. I should just prepare for it.
Yeah. And it seems like Losira has kind of identified the fact that this is very normal. He sees the gas. He's like, okay, I'll make only 2 links. Let's try to be greedy here. Let's get as many drones as possible and get that economy going.
Yeah. This SCV is going to be denied. Gets no information whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it looks like we are going to see, you know, that quick Hellion build. Pretty normal here so far. We do see the 2 Marines to kill the Overlord, but he should be able to escape.
He's paying attention especially. I don't think actually aLive even saw that, so shouldn't go down here. Losira, a very interesting player. I just want to talk about this a little bit. He's so well versed in like everything that you can do as a Zerg. He's so good at like the long macro game. He can go with the best. We've seen some really long games. One against Flash on King Sejong Station where he took him out. Where I think that was actually his first game, and everybody's like, "Whoa, Losira's back!" And he's very good at doing that long kind of game. But he also is very quick, very aggressive at times. He knows when to put on the pressure. And a merry-go-round here. Very interesting map because, you know, sometimes that third base is not the easiest for Zerg, but especially the fourth base. That's like Moonglade's thing. Every single time we look at merry-go-round, he's like, that fourth base, man, you can't get that fourth base as a Zerg. It really, really sucks. And I wonder what Losira is going to do here. Is he going to go for the late game, or is he going to just try to avoid that whole situation, you know, with the map, what this map gives you as a Zerg? With that fourth base. Maybe he just wants to go around that entirely and just go for the aggression.
Well, that's certainly a possibility as we do have that Roach Warren coming down. Now, he adds a Spine Crawler at the top of his base. He's playing very safe against aLive, and I really, really like this. You know, you were talking about how Losira has a lot of different, you know, avenues. He's basically the type of player that's not, you can't say, okay, his style is X right away. But
yeah, if
I had to compare him to one player in contemporary StarCraft 2, I would actually compare him to True, even though we haven't seen True do well in a while. He loves to make a ton of Banelings. He's totally prepared here, by the way, for these Hellions. Oh, he's going to sack this Overlord. He's going to scout, try to see that that's a Banshee coming up here. He does see that it's not. But the other player I would compare him to in all of StarCraft 2 history is actually his old master, his old teacher, Nesty. They have a really similar way of playing the game. Very good at macro games, but also know how to turn on the heat sometimes.
Yeah. These are just the best players. Players that don't just only play one style, and they're very flexible in that. He just barely misses that tumor, by the way. That's pretty nice there for Losira that he doesn't lose it. He lost one of them already.
Yeah.
Didn't want to lose that other one.
We do see upgrades for Roaches, and we see the lair finished, and we might see Roach speed in just a second here. We don't see it yet. He is adding a few Roaches into his mix now. And we do have Marauder production already underway here for aLive.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting with the Zerg. You know, most of the time, if they are going to stay on the 2 base, we see that very safe kind of Muta tech. You know, go for Spire first, and then take your third base off of that. You're very safe. You get that one Spine Crawler. You make a wall, especially on this map, but deciding to just go for Roaches and Roach upgrades, that's pretty non-standard, and I wonder if he's just going to stick on this for a while here.
He may just try to hit a 1-1 Roach timing attack. We've seen this in the past.
Dark
loves to do this.
Yeah, Dark. That's the person I was going to say. We actually saw a bit of his highlights here before Pro League even started.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the same spawning location for Maru on this very map.
Yeah, it was the same map, same spawning locations.
Yeah, it's a really good build for the map in these locations, I think, and I think that's what we're going to see here. So, you know, he is adding a third base. This may not be a huge commitment. In fact, he's sticking with 13 roaches for now. He's droning up back at home. He's getting burrows. So I think he just really wants to put on some pressure, maybe force some repairs, kill some SCVs if he can, and just transition behind it into a third base in a normal economy. And this is terrifying for aLive because he knows the potential for a really big attack is there, so he may have to add some bunkers, for example. He might be stressing a little bit here. He's actually going to try to do a Hellion run by.
Yeah, looking maybe for the drones transferring to that third base. Can be scary, and here we go. We got 2 bunkers already, and just not enough roaches, only 13. And 2 queens in position at that third base, so the Hellion's not really going to do much. He's got a Spire behind this, but he's still going for the ranged upgrades right now. He's going for +2 for this, but here we go. The Hellion's coming in and finding some drones now.
This is huge. Finding these drones like this is a very big victory. Transfuse goes down actually to save one of the drones there.
Yeah. In fact, I feel like it could have done a lot more damage if more drones were transferring at that time. You know, a lot of it is about timing, but in fact, he's only able to get 2 drones, so not the biggest amount of damage there.
Now, this is a big moment for aLive because he's sending 2 drops out right now. This is his first moment to really be able to do hard pressure. This entire game, he was playing basically defensively because he saw these roaches. He was playing carefully. And this is why Losira has been able to get 70 drones up already. In fact, he had more than that. He just made a few spines and spores here in the main base. They're not ready yet. This is aLive's moment to get some very serious damage done. The roaches getting home just in time here. Let's see if he can get anything done. Gonna get a Spore.
Yeah, Spore actually gets canceled. That's Losira for you. He will not lose even the slightest or the smallest of victories.
Yeah, very well done. And
oh, this is annoying.
Oh, that is very annoying. He did get that burrow earlier, and he's actually using it to deny a CC. Overseer does get picked off. But that's 1 scan he has to use here, which means 1 less mule. It also means less scans to clear the creep, which is already excellently spread towards the middle. Speaking of which, you will lose quite a bit of that with this scan. Nicely done. Yeah. As the roaches were out of position in the main base. And yeah, he just continues to upgrade roaches, but roaches are not...
Do we have a third Evo chamber here for Losira? Because he's upgrading melee attacks as well, while he's getting +2/+2 for his range and his armor.
He has 3 evolution chambers. He's actually going all 3. This is a really strong moment here because he doesn't have banelings ready, and this is a ton of bio.
Yeah, and Baneling speed is not done here. The positioning on the Marauder was fantastic. All of those Banelings do blow up on even Marauders or just nothing.
Yep.
And there's so many Marines left over, and there are no Banelings. He's making only roaches.
This is probably going to end the game. He just doesn't have anything to answer for this. His 2/2 upgrades weren't done yet. His Banelings weren't done yet. This is just an unfortunate timing window. Losira played too greedy, and now he's just going to die. This is a pretty weird game, Valdez, but I mean, he lives for now, but that was just way too much damage. He's down now to 49 drones. His upgrades are weird and awkward at best. He's got 2/2/1 upgrades for his units now. aLive's about to have 2/2. aLive has mobility. There's not a single Mutalisk on the map. I don't think he finished his Spire. I think he canceled it, but he has no way to deter drops because drops at this point in the game are going to do a lot of damage against roaches. As I was about to say right before this fight happens, roaches do not scale into late game or even mid game here. There's a Spire, by the way. It's real. It's actually it's actually real. It's still there. It didn't cancel, but he didn't use it either. And you know, roaches don't scale well into even the mid game. Once you've got a large bioforce of medevacs and good upgrades, roaches fire too slowly. They do damage way too slowly to actually kill the bio units before their health gets regen.
Against medevacs just in general because of what you just said. And that's the reason this is very non-standard. This is just something we don't see very often. I mean, it happens sometimes. You do see this Roach Bane composition, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen it happen many times successfully. I don't think I've seen it work many times here. Here we go. aLive, in fact, scared to fight this. I guess that's just too many roaches.
Yeah. You know, there's still no Mutalisk, so he can just kind of fly around wherever he wants with those medevacs. Even harassing Overlords in the main base right now. That's how much freedom of mobility he has. Just continue to clear up some creep with just a small group of units. Adding another CC, using that Artosis rule. We do see the +2 for Mutalisk is on the way. He has +1 for not a single Mutalisk he's made so far this game. Obviously, he can't afford to do that right now because he needs to make banelings with the money he's got to defend and stay alive.
Yep, here we go. That's a lot of Lings and a lot of Banes in the front, but still keeping all the Marauders in the front. Doing such a nice job tanking here is aLive. Very nice army positioning. You see him just drag those Marines back.
That was perfect. That's just like a control click on Marines and push it back. But you know what? There's a lot of roaches here. Losira's starting to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, he's got some good micro, but it's not good enough to win him that fight there.
You know, this becomes a problem the longer this goes on because aLive has 3-3 on the way. He has an even worker count and a 4th CC. So even though it's like, wow, Losira survived, can he come back? Well, he might. Certainly might, but he's going to need a lot more than just an even fight against Bio with his roaches. He's going to need more than that. He needs to finish off his transition. He needs to be able to get Mutalisk out.
And once aLive starts adding a bit more Widow Mines into this composition, I mean, the Roach Bane is just not going to last for a long time. All those Banes are going to get blown up.
Uh-oh, this could actually start to happen right now. Oh, that actually hit some of those medevacs a little bit there, I think.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice cleanup of all of those Widow Mines. He only had 3, so he cleans them all up here. He's going to push aLive off that creep, but here we go. We got a drop at the 3rd base. In the meantime, not really being handled. Just one Queen attacking that medevac, and now he's got to send some units back. aLive doing a nice job of attacking the front at the same time.
Yep, this draws the Banelings away, so they're not in position to fight here. And Losira tried to burrow. Well, this isn't going to happen. Losira tried to burrow some roaches over there to set a trap, but he's doing that on top of creep where aLive is just going to scan anyways because he's trying to clear up that creep. We see that there's a huge amount of resources left over here for Losira in minerals. This is a larva problem that he has because he doesn't have that extra hatchery, and he's making a ton of Lings to try to defend here, and that's very larva intensive. Again, good control here by aLive. Marauders at the front. He's just going to blow Banelings up on it, and that's pretty expensive. But once the Marauders start to get a little bit less meaty, the Roaches can finish them off.
Yep. Good Widowmine hits there on a lot of the Banelings in the front as well, whatever was left. He's got some Banelings back here. Let's see if he can save him. He is on creep, and the speed is done, but a really nice hit there on those Widow Mines, and a lot of Marines are still alive.
Yep. These Roaches are pretty tanky versus mostly Marines here. That Widow Mine, not able to fire. It's already used its charge, but if you just look at the supply, you can see this is really starting to whittle him down.
That was what Artosis would call an anti-timing. He was fighting there before the 3-3 was done.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he's trying to put on the pressure still, but now that 3-3 is done, he's going to have a much stronger attack. He wasn't fighting with a little bit of his army there in the back as well. Maybe aLive getting a little bit excited here. You know, he's winning the game, and that's going to be a big win for him, so making some small mistakes.
You know, this is what I feel like we should be seeing a little bit more of. Just split up this slow, clunky Roach comp with drops. There's not a single Mutalisk on the map. Come in here, kill some drones, kill some structures.
It's a drone feast.
It's a drone feast, man, and oh god, those Widow Mine hits would have been a little bit better, but still, he's just got such a large bioforce. He can always reinforce. Just continue to wear this army down, wear the resources down. And I almost feel like what we're seeing here is Losira's experience. Like, he got so far behind that he's so good that he's like still staying alive. Like, aLive is up 60 supply, at times now 90 supply, and struggling to finish him. Finally gets it. He finally finishes the game, but that was a bit drawn out. Weird comp by Losira.
Yeah, just a weird game in general. I don't know, man. I don't really like that composition at all. I mean, it's hard to question Losira, and obviously it has worked for him in the past, but it doesn't work today against the guy who hasn't won a game yet in 2015. But he picks up his first win, and good for him. Good for aLive. And we're gonna tie the series up now 1-1. MVP versus StarTale-yoe.
Yeah. Weird game. Weird game. That was the weirdest StarCraft game I've watched in a while. He had 3 Evo chambers. He had +2 from Mutalisk he never made. I think he was just hoping that he was eventually going to be able to transition out and get those Mutas up by defending. But it was so hard for him to actually hold without a 4th base and without this extra larva to continue to make Lings that he couldn't inject. And he fought really well. And also some of the control we saw from aLive was pretty impressive too. I mean,
some really nice just bio control in general. Just keeping the Marauders in the front, control clicking the Marines back. Very simple stuff, but he did it very well, and he did it pretty consistently, so that's very nice. Guys, we're going to jump to a 3-minute break before we get into that game number 3, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, it's 2015 SPL2015 Games' new project, EsportsTV, has now launched. You can watch a variety of leagues live and watch all the bots in one place, including new media contents that will help us communicate better with you. Don't miss out on the fun launching events, and now watch esports at EsportsTV.